Today, from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, it's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers.
We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Two teams more than ready to get this one started, and we are underway from AT&T Stadium. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone, and they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers, and they'll be led out by their 8th-year quarterback.
If you ask coaches at any level to design their ideal leader of a team, I think they're going to check every box with this guy. He's got the poise to handle responsibility. He stays calm under any kind of pressure, and he brings out the best of his teammates each and every week.
On the handoff, they start with Bolden. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 18 carries, 68 yards, and a touchdown.
So he scored his 8th touchdown on the ground last week, and most guys I know, they want to get into round numbers. So, 10 is really the goal, and this is one sport where being selfish and scoring touchdowns is a good thing.
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. Gregory Rousseau, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. A week ago, they dominated in the trenches. They got in the backfield for 5 sacks, setting the tone there, one on the opening drive.
And it sets the tone for the opposing team, doesn't it? Remember when you were a kid and you went to the theater and saw that horror movie and it stuck with you for a while and you were a little bit jumpy? Well, if you saw 5 sacks the previous week and you're the quarterback, you might be a little jumpy as well. It might throw off his timing.
Yeah, it'd be jumpy, but sorry, Bob and Linda wouldn't let me see a PG movie until I was 17.
Well, that's just good parenting.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. Well, hopefully, obviously, nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. So that flag obviously takes away the good yardage that they had on the play.
And talk about a momentum shift, because we can visibly see this celebration shifting from one side of the field to the other as soon as everyone saw the flag.
And we're at the 41, 2nd and 9. Operating from the gun, Middleton. He rifles one that's intercepted. And the 49ers are going to take possession of the football. Well, when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
Back out there comes the 49ers offense, ready for their second drive. They'll have very good starting field position here after the turnover as they search for the first points of the ball game. On the toss, Bolden. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Back to throw. Woody steps away to his left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Gregory Rousseau. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. And a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic, this is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
Here comes the 49ers punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. Cowboy offense heading out. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. Now, the current playoff picture, and you can see they are one of those 3 wild card teams, at least for the moment, but they have not clinched that spot, Charles. And look, their message has been clear. We're keeping our foot on the gas to the very end.
And how about the theater and the drama that's involved, partner? The best part, we've got a front row seat to it all. And I think this is obviously the ultimate goal when they added a 7th seed to the playoffs back in 2020. More drama, more teams in it late in the season, and more important on games like this.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Looking to throw. Middleton. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. On 1st and 10, Middleton. And he almost had his 2nd pick of the game. Probably should have. Yeah, he's frustrated as it falls incomplete. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. On 3rd down, Middleton. He's going to float this one deep right side. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and the Niners will go on offense 1st and 10.
San Francisco's offense returns to the field. And, partner, I know so far, we're still in the first half, but you love this game as a defensive guy. 0-0. We'll see if the offense can get going on this drive.
Well, you know how they talk about music to your ears? How about what it does for your eyes when you watch something like this, right, where these teams are locked in and going at it, no points going up on the scoreboard? I'm loving it. You're exactly right.
Well, switch over, though, to an offensive mindset for a moment. What do they need to do here to get on track and get some points?
I think a couple of ways. Number one, you pull out something that maybe they haven't seen before. Coaches always talk about unscouted looks. Maybe you give them something that they haven't seen on tape, and now you shock them that way. The second, run your basic playbook, but run it so well that you give your skill position guys a chance to make big plays individually.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field.
And this late season game, of course, not lacking for drama when you talk about the AFC playoff picture.
Yeah, in a sense, it's the haves versus the have-nots, because this group on offense, they'd be a wild card if the postseason started today, but they know the guys on the other side of the ball are still in that dreaded in the hunt category, and they're hungry for a win today.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry.
And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all. And they'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
To throw on 3rd down. Middleton going deep here for Bryant. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. The penalty moves them into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Middleton. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
The Cowboys had 8-5 to start play. And they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. And I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
On 3rd down, Myrick. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great effort there.
His 5th rushing touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys are on the board first here this afternoon.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
This taken in at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. They're still in search of an initial 1st down as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll start out here with the option left. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. On 2nd down, Bolden. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. They stay on the ground. Here's Bolden again. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. He'll keep it himself. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. It's going to be a gain of 6 on the keeper, but it leads to a 3rd down.
Well, this defense for the Cowboys, they were excellent a week ago in that victory over Indianapolis.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball? Or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright?
And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. 3rd down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out. But his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 right at the 40.
He's going to keep this again.
And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. And the Cowboys are going to get the football here at their own 23.
Before we came up to the booth, the last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
The time to get another look at this Cowboys offense. And the stakes in this game certainly high as we get toward the end of the regular season. For now, they are holding a wild card spot, but there are no shortage of other teams in the NFC looking to take that spot from them.
Starting with the guys on the other side of the field because they're on the outside looking in, and no one likes to be in that position. You want to be in the room, not looking inside to see everyone else having fun.
There to stop him on the defensive side, Fred Warner.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Off the play fake. Middleton. And that's caught inside the 35. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 31-yard line. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a 1st down. That catch now puts him at 1,094 in his career. And in recent memory, he passed Reggie Wayne, Anquan Bolden, T.O. on the list, and now he's even with Tim Brown. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10, down at the 31. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. So they cite the right guard this time with a holding penalty.
And so many different assignments you could have at that position, and sometimes you might just be a step too late and have to grab and hold on.
And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Now, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. On 3rd down, Middleton. And that is incomplete. And forthcoming, a field goal try for the Cowboys. On the left hash, this from 48 yards. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that will extend their lead even further.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls at work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. 10-0 the score after one on EA Sports. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Bolden. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 11. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Here's Allen. 44-yard punt, return of 9.
And they will take over 1st and 10. Dallas offense set for this next drive.
And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance in guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped them, bringing up 4th down.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
They'll run again with Bolden.
And he'll push ahead for about 3 to the 36.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And quick throw here, that's complete.
And he is going to have a Niners first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Now a toss. This is Bolden. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. Back to throw. Woody dancing to his left. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
Someone moved. Flag is out. That's going to be 5 yards.
And that'll drive coaches crazy. You work all week on dealing with loud crowds, on dealing with motion, and then you have a guy jump.
And that flag accepted.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Woody. And they will get this across midfield, but still well short of the first as he's dropped at the 46. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
Meanwhile, checking in on what's going on in Baltimore. And the Chiefs have jumped out to an early lead in their ball game. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field.
Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Now a throw over the middle, and he's got it to start the drive. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
From the gun on 3rd down. Middleton. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 45-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick it down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack.
He's got it to the 43 here. 2nd down and 8.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. To throw on 3rd down, Middleton. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. Operating from the gun, Middleton. Yeah, that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't.
And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. Taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but
you don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy. Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Back to throw. Woody looking middle, and that's complete. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a 1st down. Now a handoff up the middle. Bolden. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
They'll let the QB keep it here off the option. And he's going to have a Niners 1st down as good running gets him to about the 44. An unfortunate time for the penalty there. That cancels out a positive play from this offense.
Well, not to sound too trite or too accepting, but you and I both know it happens. You got to accept it and move on. Yardage, you got to get back. Focus on the next play and move on.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs. Keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
And I think the ball's out. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused, because now, if you're an offensive player,
You go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Cowboy first down.
They ran that one well. And not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throw left side complete. That's Bryant. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Cowboy first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Throwing on first down. Middleton.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Middleton. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. On 1st down, Middleton. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Looking to throw. Middleton. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great effort there as the first half is winding down.
And the Cowboys are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And the lead is now 24. So the drive goes 75 yards, 10 plays, and it culminates in a Dallas touchdown.
Taken in at the 3. And able to get this out to the 25.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll begin out in Houston, and it's the Oilers who are out in front. The Oilers still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And as we take a look at the playoff picture, certainly still a lot of jostling to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
So much to play for. And remember, 7 teams in each conference go to the playoffs instead of 6. And not to mention, remember when the league made that move a few seasons ago to put divisional games at the end of the year? So you get to week 16 and 17, you're playing for playoff spots, and you're playing divisional games. Couldn't be more exciting than that.
On 1st and 10, Middleton. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. Off play action. Middleton going deep here for Bryant. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. On 3rd and 2, Middleton. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So certainly not at all what you're looking for here to start the 3rd quarter. A fumble on their opening drive.
Not at all. You're exactly right about that, because this had a chance to be the drive to put everything away. A touchdown here, that might have put everything out of reach for them. They definitely handed out a lifeline to the defense on that play.
Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. And they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that pay off in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities, and this is a good one right in front of them.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 61 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
Now that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block, but the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Now it's Bolden. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. Hate to say it, but that play typifies what we've seen from this offense all game long.
Yeah, don't you think maybe you flip over your play sheet as the offensive coordinator and see the side that says try something different? You know, because this has not worked all game long. They continue to try and get it done. They've got to come up with something a little bit different. Try something special, something they haven't seen.
Anything to score a point. Throwing on 3rd and long. Woody. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Nice job understanding the situation. 3rd and long, kept the play in front of them and made the tackle. They gave up a good chunk of yardage, but it does force a 4th down.
On 4th down, Kyle Shanahan will send out the field goal unit. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And his kick is good. And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. Well, certainly happy they were able to force the fumble, Charles, but wish they would have gotten in the end zone, only getting 3 points there and still facing this second-half deficit.
And they also will understand it's going to be a whole lot tougher to force another turnover the rest of the game, because that offense, they're going to be all about ball security from here on out.
Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
What a quick start to the drive, but not for the team that really needed it. In only a few seconds, the opposing QB found himself on the turf, and the defense is celebrating 2nd and long.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Throwing on 3rd and long. Middleton. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. "46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Niners set to take over on offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They run with Bolden. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Cowboys have recovered.
But that's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him. Sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did. Yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material. Now a handoff running through the middle. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 53 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Cowboys are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
Extra point right down the middle, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The 49ers getting set to trot out there.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Back to throw. Woody. Going right side here, and that's complete. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. Here's Boulder. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Woody. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. On 2nd down now. Bolden, he'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety and being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
On 3rd down,
Woody, and that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down.
That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And now here come the Cowboys.
The offense running out, and they are charged up, ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time out. But I don't think there's any worries with this group right now. This is a hungry group, and they want to keep building off of their last drive. Now they just want the officials to hurry up and place the ball so they can snap it and get back to work.
There they'll keep leaning on the running game, back to the ground.
And this is going to be a Cowboys 1st down as he gets this up past the 30.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. And here's a handoff out of the gun. Yeah, he'll fight for a couple as the tackle is made at about the 32. To throw on 3rd down. Middleton over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And he will have a Cowboys 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
A couple of 1st downs on the drive already as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. Back to throw. Middleton. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back, and he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll take this to the 47, but no further as they get him down well short of the line to gain.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Woody. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. A gain of 32 that time. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing on 1st down. Woody. Firing quickly here, and that's complete.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. So give him the yardage on the completion and also tack on 15 more.
If you get that hand up there, you've got to let go immediately or just not close the hand at all. He didn't, gave it a tug, and that was easy for the officials to see.
Up the middle they go. Womack. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. They'll keep it on the ground. Womack. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal. Now whistles here, and I think one of the big boys for the 49ers might have jumped. Oh, jumping early from his tight end spot. Maybe trying to get a jump start on that route.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. And oftentimes when you see that, that means the play call was supposed to come in his direction, and he was eager to go catch a pass.
And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. 2nd and goal from inside the 5.
from the shotgun now. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely.
The Cowboys about set to take over on offense.
We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. Off the play fake. Middleton. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards.
Well, they have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw, they're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the 4th quarter.
And that they have in every way, and plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one. And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues.
And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. And we're going to stop play here, at least momentarily. It looks like there is a 49er who's in some discomfort. But the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Off play action. Middleton.
And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. But that shouldn't matter a great deal as they still lead by a bundle here.
San Francisco's offense returns to the field. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
On 1st down, Woody.
And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down.
operating from the gun. Woody, quick hitter here. It's complete.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
On 1st and 10, Woody throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side.
And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
The Niners on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This will be 3rd and 5. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
And he is going to have a 49ers first down. He needed 5. He got it barely, as it will officially go down as a gain of 5 yards.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
On 2nd down, Thurston. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. Looking to throw. Woody. And it's complete. In the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. A 5-yard touchdown.
And the 49ers are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. He's got them out now to a 3-score lead here in the 4th quarter after that one, CD. And, well, he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, and I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence, because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense, and he made sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field.
Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground.
And they'll stop him after a gain of a couple to the 33.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
106 yards rushing for him here as he starts to close in now on 1,200 yards for the season. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock And if you...
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season.
And the Cowboys are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth quarter lead.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Point after, right down the middle. And that'll increase their lead to 28. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away.
Fields it right around the goal line. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
And San Francisco gets set to go here.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again, Woody. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Throwing on first down. Woody. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down. Back to throw. Woody. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. And the Cowboys here on 3rd down bringing in an extra defensive back. Looking to throw. Woody. Firing quickly here, and that's complete.
And he is going to have a Niners first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
Back to throw. Woody. Quick hitter. Oh, now he's stripped. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Cowboys. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help them improve.
Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42.
And they'll accept that penalty.
Now a handoff up the middle. Myrick, and he'll get up to the 43-yard line. On 2nd down now, Myrick. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. third down. Myrick, and he gets this one across midfield for the first down to the 46. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys, and they've got to feel good about this performance. I think you'd agree, matched up against a top 5 defensive unit in the league, and they pretty much had their way.
Yeah, that was the interesting part about it, because normally when we see this defense play, they have their opportunities and they make their plays, don't they? They knock them back on their heels. They take the ball away. They change field position. In this case, what you said is so apt. They had their way with them, took it to them, and knocked them back on their heels and surprised the heck out of them.
So for Dallas,
The final 3 weeks are going to tell the story as they move to 9-5 on the year.
and they will hit the road next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for San Francisco, their playoff hopes take a hit as they drop to 7-7. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Arizona Cardinals. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.